keep Nosey Nellie out of your estate and out of the hair of your heirs. Now, I don't know why, but when I hear the term Nosey Nellie, I think of an older lady with very, very gray hair, with little tiny glasses in her front yard with a water pail, looking over a white picket fence at what's going on in your house, looking over to see what your kids are doing, looking over to see what your husband's doing or what your wife is doing. That's what comes into my mind when I hear the term Nosey Nellie. And the truth is that probates nowadays are not a private process. A probate is a civil lawsuit that is established to distribute your assets under the terms of your last will and testament, or if you don't have a last will and testament, under the terms of your state, the state that you live in, under your state's laws of intestate succession. Many years ago, because it was available at the courthouse and only at the courthouse, it at least put up a barrier for people, for Nosey Nellie, to get access to that information. Because if somebody actually wanted that information, they had to go down to the courthouse, know your name, pull the file, and actually sit there and thumb through it while the court clerk is looking over your shoulder because they've got other things to do. Nowadays, Nosey Nellie really means everybody. Most states, in most counties, all of this information is available online electronically. All somebody needs to do is get online, go to that county's website, and pull up literally everything that has been filed in your probate or your loved one's probate. And like I said, that information can include a death certificate. It can include who your heirs are. It'll usually include, because there has to be legal notices sent out, it'll include the legal mailing address of your heirs. So there's a lot of information that goes into a probate because it is a lawsuit and it is an open lawsuit. These are not private matters. All of that information is available online. Names, addresses, your debts, your assets, everything is available online nowadays. And Nosey Nellie is not just that little lady looking over the white picket fence, but it's really anybody who wants access to that information, whether it's for good or bad. So who could profit from getting this information? Well, I guess anybody. There's always somebody out there who's trying to make a buck and trying to do it dishonestly, right? So there could be a lot of financial predators out there who can thumb through online from the comfort of their house or their couch while they're watching TV and pick out estates that they think are for easy picking. And that might be because they only see one heir, or the person was really old and they didn't have any particular heirs, and they're trying to decide who the estate goes to. So maybe they show up at court and pretend to be an heir. There's all kinds of things that could happen. We actually have seen some of them where people will show up out of nowhere and pretend to be a wife or a husband. And it ends up costing the estate tens of thousands of dollars for us to fight for the court to determine that that person is actually a fraud. It still requires resources to fend off or to fight off those people. So it does happen. It's crazy, but it does. The other thing that can happen is that somebody challenges it. We've literally seen where people will show up with a supposedly handwritten will, last will and testament, that is clearly a fake, but we still have to go through the process of fighting and getting that will determined as a fake. Sometimes it's not even handwritten. Sometimes it's a very professional looking, typed up, clean word processor last will and testament. And upon further examination, we find that some of the signatures, or actually all of the signatures, have been forged. We've actually seen that happen before, where somebody came forward with a completely fake last will and testament and basically was making representations to the court that they were the sole heir to this person's estate. It wasn't even a lot of money. That's what made it even more sad, is because there was not a lot of money. And so since we had to fight with this person, that meant that the heirs, there were two of them in that case, ended up with even less money because they had to spend tens of thousands of dollars to fight off this person who made a fake claim, a fake last will and testament on the estate. What's the best way to avoid all these nosy Nellies? Well, you've heard me say it before, and it's a revocable living trust centered estate plan. If you create a revocable living trust and you properly fund it so that all of your assets are in the name of the trust, then a successor trustee, not a court, not a judge, is going to administer your estate. And your estate will usually be administered, depending on what's in the trust, within a couple of months, usually, if all the distributions are being paid outright. And that is a huge difference between having to go to court, having an open case where anybody can look at the records, and having to spend thousands of dollars on a probate when if you just had a revocable living trust centered estate plan, your successor trustee can usually, for less than a few $1,000s, get everything in order, get everything distributed, and be done with your estate. It's up to you. Do you want Nosey Nellie involved, or do you want somebody that you trust, a successor trustee that you trust implicitly, to keep your heirs' names, addresses, and other personal information outside of the courts? But you should at least talk to an estate planning attorney near you so that your heirs don't have to find a probate attorney later on and have to go through the expense of a probate, which is going to cost between $35,000 and $7,000 if everything goes perfectly, as opposed to somebody setting up a trust for them for a few $1,000. Think about it. I know I've thrown a lot at you today, so that's why we've prepared our free guide on estate planning. I'll put a link to it in the description below and in the comment section below that so that you can download it and get started in the right direction. And to help you out even more, watch this video up here and this video up here. If you enjoyed this video, then guys, please smash that subscribe button and click on the like button. And also click on that little bell so you'll get notified every time we post a new video. Have a great day and an awesome week. And as always, thanks for watching.